Hi guys, welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. This is another in our series of Divi for Beginners videos, and we're going to be looking at filters today. You can do some amazing things with filters both on images and on modules, and we'll be demoing a few of those today. For instance, this picture on the right here, we've used saturation on. I've got it fully saturated there. If I hover over, you can turn it to black and white. I'll be showing you how to do this. This other one right here, we've got hue. We're going to change the colors when we roll over it to a different color. You can make animations using these things. We've done plenty of videos on that. This one, we've got a sepia effect, which turns a normal image, like this as a normal image, into a sepia version, just like that, like an old photograph or something like that. Over here, we're using color invert. If I put my mouse on it, there's an inverted version. And what invert does, and I'll go through all of these individually, is actually switch colors to their opposites. And you get some amazing effects right there. Another effect that you can do with the filters is a simple hover effect. And we've demoed these before, where you have one little module coming in over another little image in the background there. And you can do it with images also. Really easy to do. We're using the opacity filter for that one. I've got a blur filter over an image on this next one here. When I hover on it, it becomes clear. When I take it off, it'll blur out. And this one, we're just blending a background color with an image we've got there. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to enable my visual builder. And let's go down. And I'll start with just a regular image here. Let's add perhaps a new row, little green button for a row. I'll put a single column in there. And in that column, let's pop a little image in. There's an image module. Let's choose an image. This one's got a pretty good color range. Let's pop that one in. Okay, if I roll this up, we've got an image there. If we roll over to the Design tab, and this is common to all Divi modules, this is always where you'll find the filters. Roll down, there's filters. We've got some marvelous ones here. Hue obviously changes the color, and as you can see, as I'm rolling that up, it goes through the spectrums of the colors there, and you can get some phenomenal effects. As with all things Divi, if you do something you don't like it, delete it, it'll go back to the default for you. Saturation is the richness of the colors. More to the right, more pronounced the color is. If you pull it to the left, it's going to turn into a black and white image. And you can mix and match these. You can use different filters, and also you can create hover effects like you saw earlier, and I'll show you how to do that really easy to do. Brightness is self-explanatory. And as you can see, you can slide, you can type in a value, you can increment up and down with the little arrows on the end. Contrast is the difference between the light and dark colors. Higher contrast gives you darker darks and brighter brights. Other way, it makes it more subtle. Invert's a great one. That'll turn those colors to their opposites. Like I say, you can get some wonderful effects doing these sort of things, especially if you combine them with animations and hover effects, and I'll show you a couple of simple ones. Trying to keep this easy for beginners. Sepia is the old sort of black and white, old photo type effect. The more you bring it up, the more it's going to fade out into an old washed out photo looking type thing. You see that a lot. Opacity is one of my favorites. This isn't the best thing to demonstrate it on, but basically it makes it invisible. You take it down to 0, you can't see it. The more you pull it up, the more of it you're going to see. And this is really useful for hover effects. You put a little image in the background, you can have an image switch or an image morph, like we did down below. Blur is fairly self-explanatory. The higher the pixel value, the more it's going to blur out. And again, that's quite a nice one to use with hover effects and things like that. Blend mode, I can't demonstrate on this unless I put a color in the background. Let's do that. I'll put a color in the background and you'll see how it works. So I'm going to just save that. We're in our module for our image here. To put a color in the background, I'm going to go into the row itself. Green tab for the row. Here's the column it's sitting in. I could have done it in the row as well, I guess, but I'll do it in the column it's sitting in. Background's always under content. Let's just perhaps put a purple color in there. Now you can't see it because our image is sitting on top of the row and the column. But if we save those now and go back into our little module here, back over to the filters down under design, and we'll roll back down to that blend mode, you've got all kind of things. And what it does, it blends it with whatever's in the background. If I multiply it, you'll see it multiply with the purple color. And they've got some wonderful effects. They really have. Go down and take a look at these. I've come up with some fantastic hero sections and things that really get your attention using these. And one of the favorites I tend to use is luminosity because it looks so good with riding over the top of it. But these filters, play with them, you can get some wonderful effects. Great, well let's show you how to actually implement some of these. I'm going to put that back on normal now. Okay, to demo these a bit more, let's just create a couple of easy hover effects. And we did those in a few videos earlier. Very easy to do, no coding involved. We'll go back in there. And again, we'll go down to those filters. And let's start with the hue. Now to make a hover effect, if you hover over any of the dark writing within any Divi module, you'll see some little icons appear. If there's a little arrow right there, click on it. You can select a desktop when the mouse is not on it, and a hover tab when the mouse is on it, obviously. So let's say when the mouse is on it, I just want to see this picture. When the mouse is not on it, let's say when the mouse is not on it, I just want to see this image here. When they hover over it, I want to bring that saturation up. Maybe have it change to that color. Now the time it takes to go from desktop version to hover version with Divi by default is 300 milliseconds, which is just under a third of a second, which is pretty quick. I like to slow mine down for a bit of drama. Let's put it back to desktop mode, the original. You can slow it down or speed it up by going to advanced. If we look down, you'll find transitions. And again, this is common to all modules. There's the default 300. You can slide it up to make it take longer. Take it to the left to make it quicker. You can type in a value, and again, you can increment up and down with the little arrows there. Let's make this quite long. Let's make it 2 seconds. If you slide it up all the way, it doesn't go as far as you want it to go. You can just type in a new value up there. It's fairly unlimited. So I'm going to make that 2 seconds. Don't want any delay. I want it to happen as soon as their mouse touches it. If you want a delay, put a value in there. Speed curve I tend to use for hover effects is ease in, ease out. They'll all work. Some will work better than others in particular situations, but that's my go-to for hover effects. And just to show you what's going to happen there, let's save this. We'll save the page changes. And let's exit the visual builder. If we roll on down, there's our image. Now when I hover over it, it should take 2 seconds to sort of change into that saturated version. There you can see right there. And if you're wondering what that strange writing is down under, that's actually the name of the picture. I've downloaded it from pexels.com, which is a fantastic free video and image site. Do check it out. Great. And of course you can use your filters. You don't have to use it on 2 images. You can use it on modules and images or 2 modules, however you want. Let's do one of those perhaps. Let's re-enable the visual builder. Now let's just use one of these call to action modules here. Let's have this fade in over an image, and we can do this with filters really easy. To make this work today though, what I'm going to do is put an image in the column that this is residing in, similar to what we did with the color before. And then I'm going to have this module fade in and hover over it. So again, let's go into the row, green tab. Here are our 3 claims. I'm on the left one, the first one there. There's the background. Always under content. Let's add an image. Got color gradient image. Yeah, and pop in any image that you want. Now, of course, you can't see it because it's behind that actual module there. But we can use our filters to create some great effects. So let's save our color. We'll save the row settings also. We'll go into our little module now. We're going to go over to the filters once again, design, filters. I'm going to use my opacity, roll up over, get the little icons up, get the little hover arrow. Desktop, I don't think I want to see that thing at all. So I'm going to take the opacity all the way down to 0. And we just got our image. When they roll over it, I want to bring it back. And you already know the default time for this is 300 mils. I'll leave it on that at the moment. If you want to change that, you know how to do it. Over in advanced and transition. Great. Well, that should work fine there. And you can also, while we're in here, before I demo that, you can use filters to change colors and things like that on modules as well as images. So let's go into this module here. Design, filters. Let's change the hue of this on hover perhaps. So again, go to hue, hit the little arrow. Desktop, we'll leave it just like it is. When they hover over it, hit the hover tab. Let's change it to the opposites perhaps. About halfway along we'll probably do it. 180 should be an opposite. Again, you can slide, type in a value, increment up. Great. And you can combine more than one filter with a hover effect and get some crazy effects going. I encourage you to experiment. It's really fun, actually. Let's save this and see what we've got. And we'll go down, save the page changes. We'll exit the Visual Builder. And here we go. We've got that little image there when I hover over it. We've got that call to action module fading in. Really easy to do. This next one, it's going to invert in colors when we hover over it. And this next one's just a regular one. I haven't got anything going on that. And that's a basic overview of filters. You can do some wonderful things. You really can. Like I say, we're using saturation on this one to go from color to black and white. If you want to do it the other way around, just switch it around on your filter. This one we're using hue. This one we're using that sepia effect. This one we're using the invert there. We're inverting the colors. This one we've done that fade thing. We've got a little module fading in like I just showed you. This one we've got the same thing, but it's two images. We've got an image in the column behind and an image on top, and we're just using the opacity to slide between the two. This one, same thing. We've just got an image in the back of our column, which is that fella there. We've got a module on top, a call to action module that we've blurred out. When we hover over it, it's going to come back into focus right there. And this one down here is just an image blend like I showed you before. We've got a purple color in the column behind, and we've blended that color with the image on top. And you can do that with gradients and things as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. It's a little adventure into the world of Divi filters. You can do some wonderful and amazing things with the filters, and I do encourage you to play. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. We'll make a demo video like this. I didn't mean to explain to you how to get rid of this. Let's do that quickly before I leave. That's just the name of the image like I told you before. If I enable the Visual Builder. Now let's go into this big image right here. Dark tab for the module. To get rid of this on hover, go over to your advanced. This is just on the image module. If we go to attributes, there's the actual text title that you see when you hover over it right there. You can either change it to something that works for you, or you can get rid of it completely and you won't see it at all. So there you go, guys. I forgot to put that in just now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.